I am not going to your artsy-fartsy, hoity-toity, fuddy-duddy friend's house. She's a nitwit. She's always tittle-tattling about a wishy-washy sister and a super-duper chunky monkey boyfriend. In this video, we are looking at the funniest sounding English words, and by the end of this lesson, you will be able to understand everything I've just said. Now, these words are officially called reduplicatives. The phenomena is called reduplication, and it's basically when one word contains two very similar parts to it, like super-duper. So whether you want to call them reduplicatives or just funny sounding words, there are lots of them in English. In today's lesson, we are going to look at 15 of the funniest English words. This is part 1 of this video, and in part 2, I will give you another 15 of the funniest words in English. If you like this video and if you want to help my channel grow, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification so you get notified every time I publish a free weekly English lesson for you. Okay, number 1 is tittle-tattle. Tittle-tattle can be used as a verb or a noun, and it is a synonym of gossip. So, for example, she likes to gossip about her colleagues. We could also say, she likes to tittle-tattle about her colleagues. Using it as a noun, we could say, yeah, he doesn't really like tittle-tattle. He doesn't like tittle-tattle. Or, she's not interested in tittle-tattle. She's not interested in tittle-tattle. Tittle-tattle. The next one is artsy-fartsy. And if you are artsy-fartsy, you are interested in art. Or maybe you're not really, but you like to pretend that you are interested in art. We use it in a negative way. We are not saying, oh, he's very knowledgeable about art. No, we're saying, oh, I don't want to talk to that artsy-fartsy man anymore. Artsy-fartsy. The next one is hoity-toity. And if you are hoity-toity, you are a bit of a snob. You're pretentious and snobby, which is why in the introduction to this lesson I said I'm not going to have dinner at your artsy-fartsy hoity-toity friend's house. Hoity-toity. Snobby. The next one is riff-raff, and riff-raff is kind of the opposite of hoity-toity. It's a noun which describes people who are, let's say, undesirable. Somebody once told me, don't go to that bar because in that bar it's full of riff-raff. It's better to go to this bar instead. That bar is full of riff-raff. You might easily get punched in the face if you go to that place full of riff-raff. Go to that bar where the people are a little bit more normal. But don't go to that bar. That's full of hoity-toity, artsy-fartsy people. The next one is helter-skelter. Now, a helter-skelter is actually a ride at a fairground. It looks like a lighthouse, and you go up the stairs in the middle, and then you slide all the way down. That is a helter-skelter. But we can also use this word to describe something that happens in a very hurried, a very fast and disorganized way. So, for example, when the riot police came, everybody ran helter-skelter. Okay, they didn't all run in an organized way in one direction. No, they just ran very quickly in a very disorganized way. The next one is teeny-weeny. Right, imagine you have something that is big, then something that is small. If it's smaller than that, it's tiny. And if it's smaller than that, it's teeny. And if it's smaller than that, it's teeny-weeny. Teeny-weeny. Just very, very small. The next funny English word is super-duper. So, similar to teeny-weeny, with super-duper, we have good, great, super, and super-duper. Very, very good. Super-duper. The next one is wishy-washy. And wishy-washy can describe somebody who is not very committed to something. They easily change their mind and it's very difficult for them to make a commitment to one thing. For example, one day you want to break up with your girlfriend, the next day you want to be with her again, and the next day you want to break up with her again. Okay, you're wishy-washy. Or maybe you have a friend who always says, yeah, I'll be there. And then they always call you a few hours before to say, sorry, actually, I can't go. I have to do something else. Come on, don't be so wishy-washy. The next funny English word is chunky monkey. And chunky monkey is a delicious flavour of ice cream, but also it is used to describe somebody who is a little bit fat. A chunky monkey. Now you can only really use this with somebody you have a really good relationship with. It could be offensive, but if you have a good relationship with somebody, it can be cute too. Like, I think it's okay to call a baby a chunky monkey. If it's your baby, maybe don't call other people's babies chunky monkeys, just in case you don't want to cause offense. But it's a beautiful word, chunky monkey. You might know the word zigzag. Zigzag is another cool, funny word, and it is this shape. Now, we can use it to describe a line, a zigzag line, and we can also use it to describe the way that something is moving. And if we do this, we use it as a verb. He went to the pub last night. He had so much to drink that he zigzagged all the way home. He zigzagged all the way home. In other words, he didn't walk straight, but he walked in this kind of way. Zigzag. The next funny sounding English word is Jiggery-pokery. Now, Jiggery-pokery is deceitful behavior, dishonest behavior, fraudulent behavior. So if you are tricking somebody and doing something that is not honest, like stealing money, for example, then we describe this action as Jiggery-pokery. It's a noun. For example, in a shop, bing, psh, oh, there seems to be some money missing from the till. I hope there hasn't been any jiggery-pokery. In other words, I hope one of the people who operates the till hasn't been taking some money for themselves. I hope there hasn't been any jiggery-pokery. The next one is a funny insult, and it is nit-wit. Yes, nit-wit is an insult which you can call somebody who is just stupid. You nit-wit. I love this word. It's not too common these days, but I remember when I was at school, sometimes my music teacher would call me a nitwit if I was being silly. Don't be a nitwit. A beautiful expression. For me, one of the funniest English words is willy-nilly. I love doing things willy-nilly. If you do something willy-nilly, you do it without planning it, without direction, without organization, without a specific order, without planning. You just do it willy-nilly. So let me give you an example. The other day I had washed my clothes, and to save time, I just put all my individual socks in the drawer willy-nilly to save time. So now all my socks are individually in the drawer, and I spend about 5 minutes every morning trying to find 2 socks that are the same. I shouldn't have thrown them in there willy-nilly. And the last funny English word from this lesson is fuddy-duddy. Fuddy-duddy is an adjective which can describe somebody who is just very old-fashioned and dull and conservative. Just very traditional and old-fashioned in their mentality. For example, Uncle Alf is such an old fuddy-duddy. He still thinks women shouldn't drink beer. What an old fuddy-duddy. This is part 1 of a 2-part video of the funniest sounding words in English. I will tell you the others in my next video. For now, let's just have another look what I said to you at the beginning of this lesson, and I think you will understand a little bit more than you did when you heard it the first time. I am not going to your artsy-fartsy, hoity-toity, fuddy-duddy friend's house. Okay? Artsy-fartsy, they love talking about art. Hoity-toity, they're very pretentious and snobby. Fuddy-duddy, they're very old-fashioned and traditional and conservative. I'm not going to their house. She's a nit-wit. She's an idiot. She's always tittle-tattling about a wishy-washy sister and a super-duper chunky monkey boyfriend. In other words, she's always gossiping about her sister who can never decide whether she wants to be with somebody or not be with somebody or be somewhere. She's always gossiping about her and her super-duper, fantastic, chunky monkey, a little bit fat boyfriend. So come on, use these funny words in English. It's great. I'm sure you will agree. If you've liked this video, please share it and look in the description to see how you can learn English with me on a more personal level. I can't wait to share part 2 of this video with you soon. Until then, bye for now.